Belgorod is 25 miles north of Kharkiv. It's on the other side of the country from where I am standing tonight. It's only about an hour's drive away from Ukraine's second largest city, that is Kharkiv. Look at what happened in the Russian city of Belgorod today. Take a look at these missiles coming out of the sky and those helicopters flying really low, and then what appears to be an explosion. This was a fuel depot inside Belgorod, inside Russia. Russia immediately claimed today that Ukraine was responsible for this attack. It said it was a significant escalation that could complicate peace talks. Ukraine refused to confirm or deny that it was responsible for the strike, but NBC News has confirmed that this was the handiwork of the Ukrainian armed forces, which is a bold move. This is Ukraine's first known airstrike on Russian soil since this invasion began, and it's just one item on a very long list of Ukrainian military victories in the last 24 hours. The Pentagon says that the airport outside of Kyiv has been abandoned by Russian forces. Now, this was an incredibly important target for Russia. Control of this specific airport would have allowed Russia to fly troops directly to the capital and not worry about getting stuck in the mud or roadblocks or running out of fuel, as their tanks have been doing. But now they've abandoned it. You can see it in this new satellite image from Maxar tonight. If you see those big piles of dirt everywhere, those are protective berms that Russia built up. They're earthen walls in front of their military vehicles and tanks to keep them protected. Well, now Russia has rolled up and left the airport. All that's left are their walls of dirt. Take a look at this. This was a small village east of Kharkiv today called Mala-Rogan. This town was previously under Russian control, but Ukrainians have now taken it back as they mount a series of counterattacks across the country. Ukrainian soldiers surveyed damage to these Russian tanks. Another soldier found a set of Russian military documents that had somehow stayed intact in all the rubble. British intelligence sources said today that Ukraine has also retaken two villages south of Chernihiv, which are located along important supply routes to the nation's capital. And take a look at this. This is the Kyiv suburb of Borodyanka today. Ukrainian soldiers held up their blue and yellow flag after Russian soldiers abandoned the city without a fight. On the outskirts of Kyiv, a suburb called Bucha was one of the first cities to be taken over by Russia. It's been in Russian control since the end of February. The mayor of Bucha himself was reportedly injured last month when the city came under heavy shelling. But last night on Telegram, the mayor announced his city is now free. Ukraine has retaken control of Bucha. He said the day will forever go down in the history of their town. A reporter for the Kyiv Independent newspaper today said that Ukrainian soldiers are retaking cities around Kyiv at such a rapid clip that he barely has time to redraw the lines on his map. That same reporter said today that he believes we're at an unmistakable turning point in this war.
What we have is another phase of the war. It's just we get it not from Russian statements or something, but just because of the very nature that has changed over the last, let's say, a week or so. This is very clear in terms of the Battle of Kyiv. I personally believe that the Battle of Kyiv is over with the Russian defeat.
With Russia on the retreat all around Ukraine's capital, it's a good opportunity to take stock of what Russia has lost since this invasion began. U.S. officials believe that the Russian army has already committed more than half of its total combat forces of the entire country to the war in Ukraine. As many as 15,000 Russian soldiers are believed to have died, including at least 7 high-ranking generals. The New York Times is reporting today that Russia is running its military strategy out of Moscow with, quote, no central war commander to call the shots, end quote, which perhaps explains the haphazard nature of this invasion from one of the largest militaries on planet Earth. The Times reports that with the majority of their military already deployed, Russia has now begun looking for reinforcements outside of Russia, drafting soldiers from the nation of Georgia, bringing in mercenaries from a private military company. Putin has signed a decree to call up tens of thousands of conscripts. The British Ministry of Defense said today that it's highly unlikely that Russia planned on tapping reinforcements this way and indicates that the scale of the losses that it has sustained during the invasion is higher than anyone expected.